united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
It drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
We are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
It drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
It drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
We are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
It drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
We are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
We are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
but we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
We are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
but we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
united community.
We may not be blood related,
But we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
1919 was an auspicious year in history. The First World War ended, ushering a drastic change in the world order. The Philippine Islands had been a U.S. territory for 2 decades and was promised independence under the Jones Law of 1916. Progressive reformers saw the country and its people as a major target for modernization, and education was its main weapon. 7 forward-looking Filipinas came together in 1919 to create a school where young women could gain the knowledge and skills that would make them modern women. Paz Marquez Benitez was the first president of the Philippine Women's College. Jose Abad Santos was its first chairman of the Board of Trustees. Francisca Tirona Benitez was the second president, and with her husband Dean Conrado, guided the school from a house on A. Flores Street to its iconic Taft Avenue campus. In 1932, the college became a university, making PWU the first university for women in Asia founded by Asians. It provided a space where innovations in education flourished, and young people were encouraged to be the best that they could be. For over 100 years, the Philippine Women's University has been known as a leader in quality education. In 1934, PWU moved into its main campus on Taft Avenue, and since the 1970s has been co-educational. Located in the heart of Metro Manila, it is easily accessible by public transport and surrounded by affordable housing. Today's PWU offers undergraduate and graduate courses in several fields of study. Its business and management programs are responsive to the needs of industry, using evolving technology for global competence. PWU graduates excel in arts and sciences, education, social work, and diplomacy. Its fine arts and music programs have produced outstanding graduates through a holistic education that treasures heritage as well as excellence. PWU has pioneered in fields such as food science, nutrition and dietetics, medical technology, pharmacy, and nursing. PWU continues to play an essential role in producing graduates who possess the skills that make them competitive in the country and anywhere in the world.
Good morning. So let me be the first to greet everyone a very Merry Christmas. So it's only 7 days left before we celebrate the reason for the season. And as you savor the delectable bibingka put bumbong, and before we get carried away with the excitement, allow this time to set your school priorities first. To our guests, school heads, representatives of the various academic communities, our beloved students, let me warmly welcome you to our 5th Graduate School General Assembly. So this gathering shall be filled with the essentials, the requirements, the guidelines, and the details that every student should need to know, and even more. I am Professor Sherwin Toriano, the Program Chair of the School of Medical Technology, honored to guide you in this momentous virtual event. At this juncture, may I request everyone for a moment of silence. Professor Victoria Segovia will lead the invocation, and this will be followed by the national anthem.
Good morning, everyone. Let us take a deep breath and connect ourselves to the source of that breath, our Lord. This is our prayer for our graduate school assembly today. Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to meet each other again in this virtual graduate school assembly. You have said that where 2 or 3 are gathered together in your name, you will be in their midst. Look kindly on us, an assembly of your children gathered together in hope, faith, and love. As we gather today, we thank you for the blessing of learning. Thank you for the privilege of studying our chosen areas and gathering new skills. We thank you for the gifts, talents, and skills with which you have blessed us. We thank you for the experiences that have brought us to this moment. We thank you for the work of others that gives breadth and depth to our own work. God of love, you are with us in every transition and change. As we enter into this new trimester of classes, we recall your ever-living presence and abounding love. Be with us as we move forward, rejoicing with you and supporting one another. We ask you to send your Holy Spirit, true source of light and fountain of wisdom. Pour forth your brilliance upon our intellect. Dissipate the darkness of anxiety which cover us, and deliver us from the pandemic going on in the world today. Grant us a penetrating mind to understand our lessons, a retentive memory to remember the truths taught to us, the lucidity to comprehend, and abundant grace in expressing ourselves. Guide the beginning of our work, direct its progress, and bring it to successful completion. We entrust to you our university. We pray for all the teachers, administrators, and staff who work here. We give you all the students who study here. We pray that our school will be a place of great discovery, adventure, and creativity. Direct, we beg you, O Lord, our actions by your holy inspirations, and grant that we may carry them out with your gracious assistance, that every prayer and work of ours may begin always with you, and through you be happily ended. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Maranatha, Lord, come to us this Christmas season, and increase our peace, love, and joy. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Kayang magiliw, pero saan sinanganan? Alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyat ka ng magiting. Sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw. May dilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidigdig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Lupa ng araw ng at ipagsintabay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya dapat may mga abi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you very much. I hope that we are all safe this morning after that great typhoon. So in this morning, we are delighted in the presence of our university captain. And here to address the graduate school, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Philippine Women's University President, Sir Marco Alfredo Benitez.
Dr. Felina Young, University Chancellor and SVPAA, Dr. Emerita Zornosa, Graduate Studies Director, our hardworking deans and program chairs, faculty members, dear students and guests watching on our social media pages, good morning. I'd like to thank Dr. Zornosa for organizing this Graduate Studies Assembly in collaboration with the ICT and multimedia teams. Amidst the hustle and bustle of the Christmas season, I'd like to welcome all of you to the second trimester of school year 2021-2022. We have been in this pandemic for the past 20 months and thankfully are now somewhat seeing the light at the end of the proverbial tunnel. With daily new cases averaging less than 500 per day for the past 2 weeks, with a vaccine supply and rollout in the country picking up steam, with nearly 40% of the population fully vaccinated, and with much of the economy now able to open up for the Christmas season, there's really much hope for a brighter year ahead. Yes, even despite the threat of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 already detected on our shores. In our case, PW continues to forge ahead with our flexible learning, having seen the benefits that this setup has provided, particularly for our students in the graduate programs, allowing them to balance both their professional and personal lives while working towards a higher academic degree with us. We have also committed to maintain this flexible learning setup via remote learning at least until the end of the school year, as it has allowed us to be more flexible and resilient despite the numerous surges in cases, the corresponding lockdowns, and the emergence of new variants. We are thankful to our deans, program chairs, and faculty members who have embraced this mode of learning delivery, equipping themselves with the added digital skills and emotional and mental resilience to tackle the online setup, while at the same time continuing to address our students' needs with empathy and maintaining the academic standards the university adheres to, regardless of the mode of learning. We are thankful to you, our students, who, despite the ongoing challenges posed by the pandemic, have seen this as an opportunity to further themselves through the pursuit of a higher academic degree. And your presence here with us in growing numbers across the various programs further pushes us to keep improving our delivery of education, training in research and publication, and the overall student experience, regardless of the environment. I hope that today's session will acquaint you with the different facets of the university, from the way we conduct learning in this online or flexible learning environment, the policies and procedures you need to be aware of as a graduate student and member of the PW community, the roles and functions of the various student support services, such as the University Registrar, the Library, and the Research and Development Office, all of whom will play important roles in the completion of your graduate studies here at PWU. Should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the pertinent department, and we will do our best to respond immediately to your concerns. I wish to end by saying that here at PWU, our commitment is not only to equip you with the technical skills needed by your chosen field, but to form you as men and women of character, well-rounded individuals with a positive and happy outlook, resilient in the face of challenges, agile and adaptable, oriented towards continuous learning and improvement, and conscious of one's civic duty to contribute to nation building. Patriots in the truest sense of the word. So once again, welcome to the second trimester. For those who are here for the first time, welcome to the PWU family. Let's all continue to stay safe, observe the public health safety protocols, get vaccinated and boosted once you're eligible, and may you all have a meaningful and enjoyable journey with us. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you very much, Sir Marco. Information is vital in our daily activities and tasks, most especially in school. So we should not limit ourselves to scholastic pursuits only, because the basic information about the people and their requirements are equally important. Now, to introduce us to the deans and program chairs and the graduate programs, we have Dr. Shirley Padua, the Dean of the School of Education, and this will be followed by the requirements for admission with our registrar, Sir Fernan Glimao.
Good morning to everyone, and peace be with you. So please allow me now to share with you our graduate degree programs from currently we have 48 master degree programs and 6 doctoral degree programs. So please allow me to share with you our graduate programs of the Philippine Women's University. Let me begin with the School of Social Work. The School of Social Work, okay, one moment. The School of Social Work that is headed by our program chair, Ms. Evelyn B. Valencia. For our programs, we have Doctor of Philosophy in Social Development, Master of Arts in Social Development, specialization in policy research and practice, and the Master in Science in Social Work, specialization in Social Administration, and Social Work and Education Practice. Okay, next we have from the School of Education, yours truly, that's Doctor of Philosophy in Education, major in Educational Management. We have MAs in Education, major in Early Childhood Education, Educational Management, Elementary Education, English Language, Secondary Education, and MA in Education with specialization in special education. And of course, we have the CTP, that's a certificate in teaching profession. Next, we have the Conrado Benitez Institute for Business Education, that's headed by Dr. Antonio Yu. We have DBA, we have MBA, we also have an MBA, non-thesis, and we also have our MBA with specialization in industrial security management, an MPA, that's Master in Public Administration, and Master in Public Administration, which is non-thesis. Next, we have the School of Hospitality Management and Tourism Management, headed by no less than our cluster dean, Dr. Efraimwell Jose Abellana. We have a doctor in hospitality management, an MA in culinary arts, an MS in hotel and restaurant management, and an MS in tourism management. Next, we have the School of Nutrition and Dietetics, MS in Clinical Nutrition, that's headed by our program chair, Ms. Vanessa O. Ceballos. And we have the School of Music, that's headed by Dean Clarence Jimenez. We have a Doctor of Philosophy in Music, major in Ethnomusicology, major in Music Performance. We have an MA, major in Ethnomusicology, Music Education with emphasis in Kadali approach, and an Master Music major in that's emphasis in choral conducting, music performance, and piano pedagogy. Next, we have the School of Nursing, that's Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Of course, that's headed by our Dean, Dr. Minerva de Ala. We have an MA in Nursing with specialization in community health nursing, maternal and child nursing, medical surgical, mental and psychiatric nursing, and an MA with specialization in administration and management. We have the School of Fine Arts and Design. We have a Master in Fine Arts and Design that's headed by Dean Josephine L. Turalba. We have the School of Food Science and Technology, Master in Food Safety Management Program, Master of Science in Food Science, that is headed by our program chair, Dr. Ligaya Braganza. And we have our School of Pharmacy, headed by our program chair, Sir Mark Harvey Adamson. There's an MS in Pharmacy with specialization in clinical pharmacy and research and management and administration. We have the School of Medical Technology, headed by our program chair, Sherwin Vitoriano, and our program coordinator, Dr. Nini Lim. We have an MS in Health Systems Management and an MS in Medical Technology. We have seven doctoral degree programs. That's supposed to be seven. Number 7, that's Doctor of Philosophy in Social Development, Doctor in Business Administration, Doctor of Philosophy in Education, major in Educational Management, Doctor in Hospitality Management, Doctor of Philosophy in Music, major in Ethnomusicology and Music Performance, and Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Okay, I think I have, okay, we also have, of course, our School of Arts and Sciences, that's headed by Dean Dr. Leonardo Munalim for the School of Arts and Sciences. Our chair for Master of Science in Information Technology, that's headed by Dr. Menchita Dumlao. Master of Arts in Psychology, Dr. Melissa Alcasaran. And we have an MS in Environmental Management, headed by the program chair, Ms. Victoria Segovia. And of course, we also have a Master's in Communication Arts. And of course, we are proud to say that we also have the Master of Arts in Foreign Service, that's headed by Ambassador Rosario G. Manalo, the Dean of the HCB School of International Relations and Diplomacy. So there you have it, our graduate programs, our 48 master's degree programs, and our doctoral degree programs. So thank you and have a good day. Maraming salamat po.
Welcome to the Philippine Women's University. I am Fernan C. Glemao from the Office of the University Registrar. Today, I'll be presenting the admission requirements of PWU for graduate school students and the registrar staff handling your records. You need to submit the following requirements as soon as possible to avoid any inconveniences every enrollment period, as these deficiencies will block you from directly enlisting your subject during the succeeding enrollment period. Please take note also that PW Registrar's Office will not let you apply for any document unless all requirements are submitted. The admission requirements are the original copy of the Certificate of Transfer Credential or the Honorable Dismissal, the original copy of the Transcript of Records with Remarks copy for Philippine Women's University, 2 pieces ID picture, Certificate of Employment if you are currently employed or barangay clearance if unemployed, photocopy of your PRC license if applicable, photocopy of your PSA birth certificate, photocopy of PSA merit certificate for married female students. Please be informed that the official copy of your transcript of records with remarks copy for Philippine Women's University is a school-to-school process, and PWU can only request for it from your previous school if the original copy of the Certificate of Transfer Credential is submitted to us. As you can see, most Certificate of Transfer Credential or Honorable Dismissal has the upper and lower portion. The lower portion is used by PW Registrar's Office to request the official copy of your transcript of records with remarks copy for Philippine Women's University. Your previous school, in turn, will send us a copy of your transcript of records with remarks copy for Philippine Women's University as shown. There are instances that your school will not respond to our request for whatever reason. Thus, we give hand-carried requests to students for them to directly contact their previous school. I would like you to know of the following staff at the Registrar's Office handling your records. Kindly take note of their email addresses. Ms. Amy Spirit to handle courses under the Philippine School of Social Work, School of Fine Arts and Design, School of Nutrition, School of Music, School of Food Science and Technology, and School of Arts and Sciences. Ms. Emily Buliser, on the other hand, handle courses under the School of Nursing, School of Hospitality Management, and School of Pharmacy. Ms. Venus Harjo handle courses under Conrado Benitez Institute for Business Education, School of Tourism, School of Medical Technology, HCB School of International Relations and Diplomacy. Ms. Estela May Orencio, on the other hand, handle courses under the School of Education and all foreign students under the different programs of the university. If you are not yet familiar with the student portal, kindly visit the PW website at this link for the procedure of accessing the portal, or you may directly access the ERP student portal at this link. The student portal is where you can access the online enlistment, where you enlist the subject to enroll during enrollment, and you can also pay the assessment of fees using the portal. It will also show your current deficiencies and its statement of account. The most important part of the student portal is your grades. Since our enlistment is currently online and you are the one enlisting the subject, please take note of the following section assignments for your corresponding courses para po di tayo maligaw. Under the School of Arts and Sciences, we have MPY for psychology courses, MCA for communication arts, MEM for environmental management, MSIT for information technology. Under the School of Education, we have MAE for Master of Arts in Education, PhD for Doctor of Philosophy in Education. Under the Philippine School of Social Work, we have MSW for Master of Science in Social Work, MASD for Master of Arts in Social Development, PhSD for Doctor of Philosophy in Social Development. Under the School of Fine Arts and Design, we have MFA for Master of Fine Arts and Design. Under the School of Nutrition, we have MCN for Master of Science in Clinical Nutrition. Under the School of Pharmacy, we have MPH for Master of Science in Pharmacy. Under the School of Food Science and Technology, we have MFS for Master of Science in Food Science, MFSM for Master in Food Safety Management. Under the School of Tourism, we have MTM for Master of Science in Tourism Management. Under the School of Hospitality Management, we have MHR for Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, MSCA for Master of Science in Culinary Arts, DHM for Doctor in Hospitality Management. Under the Conrado Benitez Institute for Business Education, we have MBA for Master in Business Administration, MPA for Public Administration, and DBA for Doctor in Business Management. Under HCB School of International Relations and Diplomacy, we have MAFS for Master of Arts in Foreign Service. Under the School of Medical Technology, we have MST for Master of Science in Medical Technology, MSH for Master of Science in Health System Management. Under the School of Nursing, we have MAN and DEP for Master of Arts in Nursing, and PhDN for Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Under the School of Music, we have MM for Master's Degree Program, MMAP for Master's Degree Program Applied Courses, PhDM for Doctorate Degree Programs, PhDMAP for Doctorate Degree Programs Applied Courses. There you go. Now you already know which section to pick during the online enlistment. During the duration of the enrollment period, I usually receive emails regarding expired enlistment. When you encounter this in your portal, all you have to do is proceed to the online enlistment and click Compute for Accounts to update your enlistment. For any question or clarification, you may email us at registrar@pwu.edu.ph or the corresponding email addresses of the staff handling your records. Thank you again and welcome to the Philippine Women's University.
Thank you also, Sir Fernan, and of course, Dr. Shirley Padua. Now, after the last presenter is through later, we shall open the floor for queries and concerns. So our moderators will choose some questions to be answered by the graduate school director and some of our administrators present here. Further on, to orient us with the requisites in the graduate school, and most importantly about the policies and the guidelines, please welcome the Director for Graduate Studies, Dr. Emerita Zornosa.
Good morning, everyone. Now, after hearing all our policy and requirements for our register, let me welcome you and thank you for this 5th Virtual Graduate School General Assembly. Yours truly is Dr. Emerita Mendoza Zornosa, and you can access me through my PWU email address anytime. But my duty with PWU is on a Saturday office hours only. To begin, let me summarize what will I discuss for you today. I will discuss to you the school calendar, the grading requirements, the written comprehensive examination, and the oral integrative examination, thesis, dissertation writing, enrollment requirements, pre-oral defense, virtual defense requirement, and program completion and requirements for graduation. The policies, official medium of instruction, plagiarism, diversity and inclusion, data privacy, and important dates to remember on the 2nd and 3rd trimester of this school year 2021-2022. Let me present now the graduate school calendar for school year 2021-2022. We have started the second trimester last November 27, 2021. And this will end on March 5, 2022 for a total of 51.5 hours for the whole trimester. In that 51.5 hours, 20 hours of that should be devotedly for research and coursework of your program. 31.5 will be dedicated for your Google Classroom, wherein you will meet together with your advisor and teachers and faculty. You will meet all your classmates at the same time. Graduate studies are scheduled every Saturday. The third trimester calendar. We will start on April 2, 2022 and will end on June 25, 2022. Saying that we have total of 51.5 hours, 31.5 hours to be on the Google Classroom, and 20 hours will be dedicated for your research work. After completion of all your academic requirements, you are now ready to do your written comprehensive exam. And to start and apply for your written comprehensive exam, you need to fill up 2 forms. First, you need to get clearance from your dean of your school. Have the registrar, the accounting, and the deans, and the director of graduate studies clear you of all your requirements. After completing all these requirements for written comprehensive exam, you can now apply for the oral integrative examination for a schedule of your exam from the ICT department. Our next schedule for WCE would be March 12 to March 26, 2022. Hope you can take this schedule, because if you are not available during this period, the next trimester's WCE exam would be after 1 trimester already. Now, to give you a brief overview on how to get the correct grades or computation of your written comprehensive exam for the master's program, this is composed of 50% 45 annotated bibliographies. This will include 15 each bibliographies for 3 areas of specialization, for a total of 45 bibliographies. Another 50% will be coming for your written comprehensive exam, which now we call it oral integrative examination, because we do it digitized online. Please take note that the examination will be taken or based on the article in the student field of specialization taken from the 45 annotated bibliographies you have submitted. The annotated bibliography is due a week before your OIE or WCE schedule. The article will be given to you a day before the examination date. And the rating that you will get for WCE shall be pass or fail. Should you fail, you are given the second chance. And in the second chance, you ought to pass the exam, or else you will need to transfer to another institution. Written comprehensive exam for doctoral programs is composed of 90 annotated bibliographies, 30 each in 3 areas of specialization, or an equivalent percentage of 40%. Core syllabus, any subject of any doctoral degree or program, equivalent to 30% of your WCE grade. And third is the oral integrative exam, equivalent to 30% of your total written comprehensive grade. Same as the masteral, I have noted here that your examination will be based on the article you have submitted in the 90 annotated bibliographies. And this annotated bibliography should be submitted a week before your schedule of your examination. The article will be given to you 1 day before the examination date. And same with masteral, your rating would be pass or fail. Enrollment. After passing the WCE exam, you are now ready to enroll your thesis writing and dissertation writing. Thesis writing is equivalent to 6 units in the master program, and dissertation writing is equivalent to 12 units of doctoral program. Should you fail to defend your thesis in a particular or within a trimester, the student has to enroll for residency fee. After all these requirements has been complied, you are now ready to apply for your pre-oral defense. These are the forms necessary for you to do the pre-oral defense. Let me remind that the thesis should be submitted to your advisor early on before you schedule for your virtual defense. 10 working days for masteral and 16 working days for dissertation before the date of your defense, for the advisor and the finalists to review your thesis or research work and can give you feedback for the improvement and enhancement of your research. Now, for oral defense, you have to consider the following list. First, you have to pass the written comprehensive exam, completed all your academic requirements based on the curriculum upon your entry, and your dean's approval of the concept paper proposal. Then the suggested advisor based on the expertise in the research topic of your choice. And this thesis and dissertation advisor should be, as much as possible, be a faculty member of PWU, preferably with doctoral degree. And in special cases wherein non-faculty of PWU with doctoral degree may be appointed as advisor, subject to the approval of the dean, and the dean should endorse the approval to the director of graduate studies for concurrence. Submission requirement after the oral defense. Now we decrease the number of hardbound and the CD that you have to submit. Only one hardbound thesis, dissertation, research paper should be submitted for our library purposes only, and one CD also for the library. You submit this through my graduate studies office. And a final soft copy of the entire academic research paper from the title page to appendices to my PWU email address. I am receiving, some of the students are submitting a separate file for preliminaries and a separate file for the body of the thesis. Please make sure when you are submitting to me, make sure that will be in complete file, because I will submit and forward the soft copy to the library. If it is in 2 separate files, it will be harder for me. Approval sheet is required in a separate file for endorsement to the registrar's office for your graduation requirement. Abstract pages in publication format to be submitted to the Research and Development Office. The maximum period the program completed should be in 5 years for master's degree and 7 years for doctorate degree. This is counted from the school year of entry to the program. Failure to comply, subject to a refresher course of 9 units. If a graduate student failed to complete his master's degree after the 9 units refresher course, he should start from the very beginning. For doctoral degree, 12 years is required. For the general requirements for the completion of the degree, for master student, you have to maintain the cumulative weighted average grade of 2.0 or higher. For doctoral program, a cumulative weighted average of 1.75 or higher. You have passed the WCE or OIE, passing the pre-oral and final defense, submission of 1 hardbound and 1 CD of the approved thesis dissertation. It should be signed by your advisor, the panels, and also your dean. Submission of 1 article for publication in a peer-reviewed journal. Now, to join the graduation, you must consider submission of all your documentary requirements, as mentioned by our registrar. Compliance with all the academic requirements, as mentioned a while ago, and payment of all your university fees. The policies to remind you of the graduate studies. English language proficiency is a must. This is our official medium of instructions. Second is plagiarism. With so many applications available online, the Turnitin, Grammarly, Reverso, I am sure you yourself can prevent plagiarism because you know from where the source your research has been. You need to mention or cite all the sources of your research work, else this will be penalized. Plagiarism is same as stealing the knowledge of others' work. So be careful. Diversity and inclusion. PWU is committed to be diverse and inclusive of all the similarities and differences in race, language, gender, age, sexual orientation, religion, disability, socio-economic status, culture, and other discriminating facets of life. We are all welcoming everyone in our academic community. And the last is the data privacy policy. The PWU is protecting the privacy and confidentiality of all your personal information of each student, faculty, staff, and administrations. And we are complying with this policy in the fulfillment of our respective responsibilities. Let me remind you of the important dates of the school year 2021-2022. You may now try to screenshot these important dates for trimester, second trimester, and third trimester. The last day of class for second trimester and last day of annotated bibliography submission is March 5, 2022. And the last day of submission of your thesis hardbound and CD in the second trimester is March 26, 2022. The second trimester WCE schedule would be March 12 to March 26. You can arrange with your admin assistants and your dean of your specific days of your schedule. Then the last day of class for third trimester and last day of submission of annotated bibliography would be June 25, 2022. Last day of submission of your thesis hardbound and CD would be July 16, 2022. And the next WCA schedule would be July 2 to July 16, 2022. For any questions or inquiry, you can email me directly any time of the day. Now, let me leave you with this quote. PWU is committed to all of you to develop and continue your learning and be part of the academician community. The quote from Mr. Skiller: you can spend a lot of money on education, but if you don't spend it wisely on improving the quality of instruction, you won't get higher student outcomes. Thank you and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you very much also, Dr. Sornosa. I think that was very comprehensive. Now this morning it is very quiet and the skies are overcast. So it is a good time for us to relax for a while and enjoy classical music. Now to serenade us from the School of Music, here is a rendition, the trio in piano, cello, and violin. Thank you very much. That was indeed very soothing. Now, we take pride as a research university. Our diligent students are expected to submit their theses in fulfillment of the requirements in their respective programs. The faculty members are equally prolific in completing noteworthy and publishable studies. So to introduce us into thesis writing and the publications of the Research Development Office. Please welcome Dean Leo Monalim.
Thank you, Sir Sherwin. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we could hear you well.
Thank you. To the University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Moya Benitez, to our Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Felina Siang, my fellow deans and program chairs, graduate students, the whole PW research community, good morning. But before I present my part, I'm from Bohol. My province has been ravaged by Odette Typhoon, so I enjoined you all to whisper some prayers for my fellow Bolanons. And if you can extend your help, small or big, they're really appreciated. Thank you so much in advance. So today, I'm very happy to join with you today in today's Graduate School General Assembly. A beautiful day today, after all, December 18, 2021, 9 a.m. via Zoom. I'm full Professor Dr. Leo Monalim, the Director for Research and Development Office, the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. If you are interested in knowing my work and research that I do, you can check my researchgate.net, and you might as well sign up so that you can share your research output. You can also check my Scopus ID flash on your screen. So I'm tasked by Dr. Sornosa for today. I was actually asking for 30 minutes, but the time is just not enough. So allow me only to present manageable topics. We have 4 bullets. I'd like you to direct your attention to the screen. I'll be sharing a few updates on RDO updates. I'd like you to be familiar with the publication opportunities for graduate studies, students like you, co-authorship with graduate students, mentors, your advisors, among others, or et al. And to end my presentation for today, I'll share with you simple tips for future thesis and dissertation writing. So without much ado, I'd like you to check our improved RDO website. It's www.pw.edu.ph/research. Let me check, I cannot see HTML. So you might as well check right now and check what we have on the website. In 2022, this is going to be a one-stop website. We'll be improving the website. Everything will be there so that I don't need to attend to each of your inquiries through email. I'm very happy that last November 20, 2021, during the trimester break, we had our first ever virtual research festival titled Research Beyond Borders, Collaborations, Linkages, and Networking with our international speaker from the Department of Political Science and Lady Bourbon College, West Bengal in India. And we have Dr. Piyush Ghosh. And I'm very happy that Dr. Ghosh also joined in the editorial board for our in-house PW research journals. The research festival was attended by 38 universities across the Philippines. And I was very happy knowing that we are really making a name in the national sphere. I'm also very happy that hopefully this is very, very soon. The manual is now has been sent to the Office of the Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Office of the President. It's 100% ready for release. We have the publication manual for authors titled Gabayan, a publication manual. This is a one-stop manual for all of the authors, both in the undergraduate and graduate levels. So I'll be announcing through our official PW Research Community email group. I'll be sending you the PDF file, and this will be available on our official PW Research website. So I'm really interested. I look forward to sending you the copy of Gabayan. For publication opportunities, I'm very pleased that during my term under the guidance and the baton of Dr. Yang, we are able to have the maiden issues of Bidlisio, Compendium, and Bugkus. We used to have only two, the PW Research Journal and Sabangan, but right now we have 6 academic journals, the venues for your future paper publications, academic papers that you can share with the academic community. Because remember, your research outputs, your academic writings are never complete unless they are shared in wider scope. So we have PW Research Journal, Bidlisio, or SINAG in Tagalog, Sabangan, Perspective, and Undergraduate Research Journal. The maiden issue will be in January. I have completed the number of papers for undergraduate research. We have Compendium and Bugkus. Compendium and Bugkus are purely publications for abstracts. I'd like you to direct your attention to PW Research Journal. This is the flagship publication of the Philippine Women's University. It welcomes and publishes articles written by the faculty and students of the different schools of the university. It is published in May and December of the same year. But I also, as the chief editor, I also publish special issues within the academic year. Each issue features 8 to 10 articles, and the editorial board is composed of internal and external reviewers. Now, in 2022, we'll be welcoming papers outside the Philippine Women's University. In fact, I have accepted one paper from a good university in Manila, in the Philippines. So this will be part of our effort to be inclusive of the different outputs from the academic community, not only at the Philippine Women's University. We have Sabangan. It is a peer-reviewed academic journal that focuses on articles regarding Philippine culture and society. It is broadly a national focus from a global perspective, the Philippines as seen by locals and the rest of the world. It specifically welcomes articles from the School of Fine Arts and Design, the School of Music, and other artistic performing arts cluster of our dear PW. The term Sabangan is an Ilocano word that literally means mouth of the river. It is where the river ends its journey and meets a bigger body of water like the sea. It connotes some sort of crossroads and a point of conjuncture and confluence. So those who are watching from School of Music, School of Fine Arts and Design, let's cultivate this research culture with or without incentives, with or without promotion, because we know the value, the pragmatic value, the importance of research and knowledge generation and dissemination. We do have Bidlisio, a multidisciplinary scholarly journal. I believe this is the best venue for you if in case you are having a hard time producing full-blown paper. So this journal, its maiden publication was published in May 2021. It welcomes and publishes academic papers such as full papers, short research articles, speeches, keynote speeches, presentations of papers in local and international conferences, commentaries, visiting professorial lectures, short critiques, squibs. I do this in my classes for squib, These are emerging academic write-ups, book review, critical review of literature, and other related academic articles that are worthy of dissemination, thus, which are likely to elevate academic discourses. So consider that if you have your academic essays there and worthy of dissemination, you can send it to me so I can look at your paper and I'll check. I'll be very helpful to give you comments to improve your papers. This is compendium of PWU thesis and dissertation abstract. It welcomes and publishes thesis and dissertation abstracts produced by the graduate educants. The compendium produces one issue per year, academic year, to consolidate done-deal thesis and dissertation abstracts. So our next issue will be in July 2022, consolidating all abstract within the academic year of 2021-2022. So please submit your abstracts to your departments, and this is also part of the manual that I have designed. For Bugkus, Bugkus was the brainchild of my office and the Office of the Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Philida Yang, when Dr. Yang and I were talking on the phone. And Dr. Yang said, Leo, I think we need to have a special journal for our research festival. And I said, why not? So Bugkus, as a Cebuano term, me as a Cebuano from Bohol, Bugkus means big kiss. It's a bond, it's a bundle. It's a scholarly album of research conference abstract presented by PWU authors, researchers, and scholars during our official PWU RDO Research Festival. It is released annually with special issues as the need arises if we have conferences within the academic year at the Philippine Women's University. Its maiden issue was released in November 2021, 2 days after we had our research festival on November 20, 2021, during the height of COVID-19 pandemic. Bugkus is a Cebuano lexicon, which means big kiss, bond, or bundle. And last, we have the venue for undergraduate students. We have Perspective, an undergraduate research journal. It is a scholarly journal that publishes thesis outputs of the undergraduate students of the different schools and departments of the Philippine Women's University. It is published in May and December with special issues within the academic year at the Philippine Women's University. I keep on mentioning the word special issues. Why? Because we have a lot of submissions. Many submissions. In fact, I have pending submissions for May 2021 for our 3 major journals. I have already completed 3 issues. So I need to release this as a special issue months before May and December. All theses in the undergraduate level are converted to an MRAD format or Introduction, Methodology, Research, and Discussion format. All papers are peer-reviewed both by internal and external reviewers to maintain the quality of the paper. I just want to share with you, there is one. If you check your email last night or yesterday, there is one paper that I accepted from the School of Education. And on the record, that paper took like 15 revisions. And then I believe the writers felt discouraged toward the end. And I said, don't worry, that's the last comment. Because I don't compromise quality in the papers that we publish in our journals. I assure you that the papers undergo peer review, editing, grammar, checking of the technicalities, because in the next 2 years, we'll be applying for international indexation. Scopus will be one, and that's an ambitious one, but nothing is impossible if we sustain quality research in our university. So please, I'd like you to continue writing, publish, and flourish. You are not to take this mindset of perish, research or perish, but research then flourish. At this juncture, I'd like you to direct your attention to the co-authorship. Well, this is part of the manual but I need to discuss this for one slide. All thesis, this is for number 7.1. All thesis and dissertation advisors may be automatically indicated as the primary, that's secondary authors, secondary authors if upon the evaluation of the primary researchers, the advisors have at least met, that's a wrong grammar, have at least met one criterion listed below. Substantial contribution to the conception or design of the work, or the acquisition, analysis, or interpretation of data for the work. 2, drafting the work or revising it critically for important intellectual content. 3, final approval of the version to be published. And number 4, agreement to be accountable for all aspects of the work and ensuring that questions related to the accuracy or integrity of any part of the work are appropriately investigated and resolved. On the record, in other universities, there are many advisors who are trying to bully the advisee just to take part of the authorship. But at the Philippine Women's University, it's not automatically granted to the advisor. But take note of these criteria before the advisor is written as the secondary author. Remember, we are under the Accrediting Association and we need to sustain quality and transparency in the research manual or guidelines that we do. So if you have your research advisors, if you think they have valuable contribution to your study and they qualify even one criterion from these listed criteria, then they can be listed as the secondary authors. I will not again compromise quality and transparency and honesty in the publications that we do at the Philippine Women's University. Dr. Young and I share the same values. When I check, even if your papers already passed through the eyes of the advisors and the panelists at the Philippine Women's University, when I check your work as the chief editor of the journals, there are still a few papers that lack novelty in their thesis and dissertation. We actually write because we want to engage in the continuing discussion of the recent scholarship. Part of that effort to be part of the academic community is to make sure that your paper really addresses novelty so that we can improve, we can cultivate the growing body of knowledge. Now, how? How can you address novelty in your paper? I'd like you to direct your attention to the bullets here. I have listed all. These are from Phillips and Fa in 2000 and from Swales in 1990 from the area of applied linguistics that I'm part of. We have here you can address novelty to your study. You can add to the knowledge construction of the area of discipline. You can address current, timely, relevant issues not been identified before. For example, COVID-19 pandemic is really timely and recent. Recency of COVID-19, there's a need for us to study. That's one. You bring new evidence to bear on an old issue, knowledge and ideas. From the School of Education, Many of you want to study reading intervention. But the question is what is the novelty in the paper? Skies is the limit, actually. But the question is there novelty that you're trying to provide to your paper? You can carry out empirical work that has not been done before. You can challenge a broadly accepted assumption by hypotheses or needs. You can counterclaim identified body of knowledge. You can explore new techniques and methodologies in a novel way. You can extend previous knowledge or continue a tradition in a novel way. It means, in fact, this is my mantra that I hold in my life, and my students who are now graduate students right now, like I'd like to shout out Miss Nelly Marinella, I forgot your family name. Nella from the School of Education, you're back. Thank you for choosing Philippine Women's University for your graduate studies. My students know that when somebody is sitting, I'm standing. When somebody is standing, I outshine. So if somebody are all wearing green, I should wear yellow, and I should be the best that I can be. The same principle applies to research. You have to be unique in your own way. You can extend previous knowledge or continue a tradition in a novel way. You can fill in understudied areas by exploring other variables. Right now, I will tell you, the understudied gender or sex right now is the LGBT. So perhaps you can include LGBT in your profile. So when you're testing hypothesis, because not much about LGBT community is known. So you might as well explore some variables that you think can expand, can shed light on our understanding of the current investigation or scholarship. You can look at topics, solutions people in your discipline have not looked at before. You can make interpretation of someone else's materials or ideas, even the work of Plato, even the work of the ancient philosophers and scholars. Until now, many scholars are shining about the veracity, shining about the knowledge, constructed knowledge, because knowledge is endless. Knowledge is limitless. The interpretative nature of human being is endless. So we continue to search for that knowledge, and we can do that through research. You can prove and probe something that researchers have not done before. You can propose a new model and framework. You can provide a single or original technique, observation, or result in an otherwise unoriginal but competent piece of research. Take a new technique and apply it to a new area. Test existing knowledge in an original way. Perhaps you have read something from Africa and you would want to try it in the Philippines. It's a kind of replication. Replication is never bad at all, as long as it addresses the gap of literature or studies. You can use and explore different methodologies. For example, in my PhD studies, we were asked to read 500 articles. And after reading 500 articles, I was able to only that time, I was able to identify the gap in the different studies. So there is a need for extensive critical review of literature. That's why that is the value, the importance of asking you to write annotated bibliography. Dr. Yang was very future-looking when she asked all the deans to have this policy on annotated bibliography, because that's the value. Whether or not we accept the truth, reading is the backbone, the cornerstone of research writing and academic studies, especially that you are from the graduate studies. Moving forward, what happened to my, okay. So if you'd like to check the book, we have Swales John from Applied Linguistics, Genre Analysis, English in Academic and Research Settings, Cambridge University. We have Phillips and Fa, How to Get a PhD, 3rd edition, Open University Press. Self-plagiarism. This is part of the manual. The following constitute self-plagiarism for APA, 7th edition. Are you guilty of this? A student submitted a paper written for one class to complete an assignment requirement for another class without permission from the instructor. So you have written one requirement and then you submit because you don't have enough time for submission. So that's self-plagiarism. That is still a kind of academic, professional stealing and dishonesty. Duplicating or using previously used words, sentences, paragraphs without quotation, or even self-quotation. You might as well check APA, our Bible, for technicalities of citations. So if you have inquiries, you can email rdo@pw.edu.ph. You can email me personally, lomunalim@pw.edu.ph. My new secretary, Darlene Lubugin, ddlubugin@pw.edu.ph. Again, this is full Professor Dr. Leo Munalim, the Director for Research and Development Office, the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. I am just an email away. If you have concern, you can email me directly. I welcome comments and suggestions and insights that you have gleaned from my talk toward the end during the open forum. I'll give back the floor to our Master of Ceremonies, the program chair of School of Pharmacy. Sir Sherwin, thank you. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, sir. It's from the School of Medical Technology, though.
Sorry, School of Medical
it's okay.
Technology.
So take good care, all of you there from the Visayas and in the Mindanao region. So I know that some of our students are actually from Visayas and from the Mindanao. So I fervently hope that those in those regions, they may recover in no time at all from the devastation of the super typhoon, and they really need our help. Okay. So again, thank you very much, Sir Leo. So moving on. At the Philippine Women's University, we conduct various types of researches. So our researches may be descriptive, or it could also be experimental. In one way or another, we may need human respondents, which should follow strict and humane guidelines and even ethical review. To elaborate on these matters, let us warmly welcome the chair of the Ethics Review Committee, Dr. Menchita Dumlao.
Good day to everyone. Today I'm going to discuss two topics: PW Ethics Review Board and the G Suite for Education, specifically Google Classroom. So for PW Ethics Review Board, my name is Dr. Menchita F. Dumlao, the chairperson for PW-ERB. So the PW-ERB followed its own standard operating procedure that is duly approved by the Philippine Health and Ethics Review Board as being accredited itself by the FREB last 2017. So our SOP provides the guidelines towards the development of quality and consistency in the ethical review of different types of research studies, including but not limited to the following: clinical trials, epidemiology research, social science research, research on medical records or other personal information, research on stored samples, health systems research, and implementation research. So as you can see, this is the committee that composed the ERB, me as the chairman, and the members are Dr. Minerva De Ala, Dr. Lina B. Laigo, Mr. Harvey Adamson, and Mr. Raul Vijabat. And now we have a new scheme for payment for the ethics review for both master's and doctorate thesis, and it's 2,250. So I'm also going to discuss the ethics review procedure. The first, student have to submit the following requirements. So you need to submit the fully accomplished ARB application form, study protocol, informed consent form, and also your informed consent, and then approved manuscript and the payment receipt. And then the secretariat will check its completeness, and then after that, it will be forwarded to the two reviewers. And when it is complete, or there might be some comments, the reviewers will send you the comments, or me, the chairman, will send you the comments. And after the completion of those comments, and after the reviewers have signed your protocol, me, the chairman, will issue the certificate of ethics review committee and the signed protocol. So that is all about ethics review procedure. Okay, next is all about the PWU G Suite for Education. So G Suite for Education is our platform, and it is official platform for the seamless communication and doing online classes for all PWU faculty members and students. So as you can see here on the screen, G Suite enables us seamless collaboration. For example, these are the apps that can be used: Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Drive, Google Forms, and Jamboard. And for online classes, we have Google Classroom, and then Google Assignment is the new one that is being released by Google, which has been, I think, has been released only this month. And then for flexible communication, we have Gmail, we have Google Meet and Chat or Hangouts. And of course, to organize our task, we can also use Google Keep, which is some kind of reminder app, and then Google Calendar and Google Text. And for us to manage our platform, we have Google Ads. So I will now show to you a sample of the Google Classroom. So this is the Google Classroom. Okay, so all of the students have access to the Google Classroom. After that, you have enrolled in your respective classes, automatically you will see that there are some invitations for you to join your respective Google classes, just like the one that you're looking at. So in here, there are many classes, and this is a type of Google Classroom of a sample student. Okay, so I will show to you the different parts of the Google Classroom. So if you have opened a certain class, for example, I have here a sandbox. Okay, so the sandbox class is like a sample class that I created for this discussion. So I'm going to click it. So you just click that sandbox class, and you will see 3 tabs. You have the stream, classwork, and people. Okay, so that is the 3 important menu or tabs that you can see in Google Classroom. And you also have here the main menu, in which when you click that, you will see your classes, the calendars, and here, since for example you're a student, you will see here the different classes that you are enrolled. Okay, so that is your main menu. And of course, at the bottom of your main menu is your archive class. So what is an archive class? It is the storage or a separate folder in Google Classroom wherein your previous or old classes were stored. Maybe those classes which are in the past trimester. So when you click that, so this is some of the classes which are old classes already. So when you click the 3 dots, okay, you can restore that if you want to access it again. Okay, But of course, archiving can be done by the teacher, I think. So since in some instances that you can restore your classes and you still need them to access, you can request your teachers to please restore it. Okay, so let's go back to the main menu. Okay, as your classes, I'm going back to Sunbox, okay, to discuss the 3 important parts of Google Classroom. So the stream is like your Facebook newsfeed, wherein you can see here the different announcement, and you can see the transition of communication from from day to day. Okay, and also the announcement also serves as the way for your teachers to announce for the time of your classes and for new important reminders and announcements. And you should also be aware of this part, the upcoming. So upcoming, it means if you have assignments, you will see that the assignments are posted here. Or if you have some requirements that you have not yet submitted, this is some kind of listing of those things that you have not yet done. So that is the stream. How about classwork? So the classwork will show to you the outline of your modules or courses. So for example, in this, you have the course overview, you have module 1, module 2, okay. And in each of the modules or modules titles, you will see the different materials. Say for example here, syllabus, okay, so you click view material, and then you can see the files which are posted. Okay, all you need to do is to click that. Okay, so when you click that, it will automatically be downloaded. Okay, okay, and also in your modules, you will see the different exercises. So say for example here, there is an assignment to be done. Okay, so if you click that form, okay, you can proceed, or you will automatically be proceeding to the Google form, okay, wherein you need to answer that some kind of questions or survey. Okay, so we are waiting for that to load. Okay, so while waiting for that to load, okay, so you will experience this type of okay, these things like you need to wait for your forms or your documents or your Google Docs to be uploaded. Okay, so let's go back in there later. So as you can see in here, I have already downloaded, I have already accessed the syllabus, and it is being downloaded here in Google Form. Okay, so this is Syllabus Calagua Statistics with Computer Application PDF. So that's how you can access the files that is being uploaded by your teacher. So in here is the form that we just recently accessed. So all you just need to do is to fill up and answer the forms. For example, how many hours do you spend in online class? Let's say 5 hours. Do you like Google Classroom? Yes. And then let's say the problems I encounter is slow internet. Okay, and then click submit. Okay. So some forms will have automatically give the scores for your test, but some are not. So it depends on the settings of your teacher. So let's go back to our Google Classroom by clicking that. Okay. So those are some of the things that you can experience in using the Google Classroom. How about people? So this tab will show you the name of your teacher, okay, and also if there are some pictures posted by your teacher. So in this class, there are no students. It's because this is a sandbox. But if it's a real life class, you will also see in people who are your teacher classmates. Okay, the listings of your classmates. Okay, so another thing in Google Classroom is this, the Google Apps icon, in which this is part of the Google's or G Suite, in which you can access all the apps that I have discussed previously. So you can access here the Classroom, Gmail, Google Drive, Docs, Google Sheet, Google Slides, Calendar, Chats, Meet, Forms, sites, contacts, and a lot. Okay, so this is a complete platform, a one-stop shop for doing your online classes and for communicating with your teachers and friends in PWU. So that is all about Google Classroom and G Suite, and I hope that this short session is helpful for everyone. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much also,
Later.
Dr. Dumlao. So still speaking of research studies and a thesis, did you ever wonder what happened to our books? So while we are in our homes attending online classes, our library is also busy indexing the books for our courses. And here is how to access and avail of the ebooks and other related services. This will be brought to us by our librarian, Dr. Purita Uson. And immediately this will be followed by how to write the annotated bibliography, an important requirement in the comprehensive examination, as explained to us all by no less than the Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Felina C. Young. So let us usher them all in.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ms. Purita Piuson, and I was tasked to give a talk on the digital library of the Philippine Women's University. So here it is. Welcome to PWU Libraries. The unexpected outbreak of the coronavirus disease left us with no choice but to close our physical libraries and temporarily suspend most of our library services, especially those requiring face-to-face interaction between the library staff and library users. To continuously support the online teaching and education of our teachers and students, we shifted to providing virtual library services to them. And this I will present to you all. Our electronic resources are composed of ebooks and e-journals. And one of our databases is the Gale Virtual Reference Library. It has an instant access to a vast collection of ebooks, and the URL is http://info.galegroup.com/itweb/phwomenu. The password is resource, and that is for off-campus access. For an instant access to a variety of titles from an international diverse of scholarly journals, books, theses and dissertations, newspapers, videos, and more, we also have the ProQuest 5000 Special Collection Database. The URL is http://search.proquest.com. The username is pwu_Manila, and the password is research01. That is also for off-campus access. How to access ProQuest 5000 in the PWU website? 1. Type the PWU URL, that is www.pwu.edu.ph. 2. Click Student Support. 3. Click Main Library, which will show on the right side of the screen. 4. Scroll down until Online Resources shows. 5. Click ProQuest 5000 Special Collection, that is within campus. 6. Type your topic in the ProQuest search bar, then click Enter. 7. The article or articles regarding your topic will show. Here are the steps to follow in remote access to ProQuest. 1. Search ProQuest in Google. 2. Click Student and General Researcher. 3. Click Get Started, then Log In. 4. Click Other Details. 5. Type the username, which is PWU_Manila. 6. Type the password, which is research01. 7. Type your topic in the ProQuest search bar, then click Enter. 8. The article or articles regarding your topic will show. Still on electronic resources. At present, the PWU library staff are downloading and uploading electronic resources such as electronic books, electronic journal articles, readings, articles, videos, and PowerPoint presentations that can be used by the teachers and students as references for their online classes. For inquiries regarding electronic resources, please email me, Ms. Purita Piuson at puson@pwu.edu.ph, and I will refer you to the designated library staff assigned to different course offerings. Here is the requirement in requesting for electronic resources. Please email to us the enrollment assessment form for the current term. This is to show us or to tell us that you are a bona fide student of the Philippine Women's University. Since we are not able to have interface with you or face-to-face interaction with you, then we require this enrollment assessment form. Additional information. Graduate school students are allowed to visit the libraries and borrow books for home use for 1 week. Our thesis and dissertations can be used for inside reading only. Thank you for listening and stay safe.
I want to, this is a very simplified PowerPoint presentation for writing an annotated bibliography. So if you notice, we have changed our written comprehensive exams. Instead of having the traditional examinations of 5 specialized courses, we reinvented our comprehensive examinations into two types. The first one is we are now requiring our students to come out with their annotated bibliography. And the second one is instead of having the written comprehensive exam, we have come up with our virtual oral integrative examination. So we have fine-tuned our comprehensive examination, trying to make it easy for the students, for the graduate students, and also easy for the faculty, and of course for everybody. So I'd like to give, this one is a very brief writing of an annotated bibliography. Why is it so? Because a great number, I don't think, I'm not so sure which university is doing this in the entire Philippines. Because from what I know, a great number or almost all of our universities and schools and colleges are still on the traditional way of having their comprehensive examinations. So the first component, of course, as made mention by our graduate school director, is actually the writing of an annotated bibliography. And we have set deadlines for the preparation of the submission of the annotated bibliography. And I'd like to reiterate that for master's degree holders, you're supposed to submit 45 annotated citations under your annotated bibliography in 3 different areas. And that means that you have 15 citations per area, or a total of 45. And for the doctoral program, your annotated bibliography will consist of 90 citations, and also from 3 specialized areas. Now, what is the good of writing your annotated bibliography? because at this point in time, we are already encouraging you to think about the topic that you will write for your thesis or your dissertation. And hopefully, you can have already your citations prepared as part of your chapter 2 of your thesis or dissertation, which is your review of related literature. Okay, so actually it is helping the students to start reading and trying now to prepare for their thesis and dissertation writing. Oftentimes we see students who just think of a topic after they've finished their academic courses. Okay, my suggestion to all of our students is, while you are enrolled in the course, you know your expertise, you know your inclination, then you create now, look at certain areas when you can start do in-depth reading already to make it part of your chapter 2. And this is what we call your annotated bibliography. Okay, so a very simplified PowerPoint on writing an annotated bibliography. So I first define what is an annotation. Okay, an annotation is simply a summary. Okay, and sometimes you have an evaluation of any form of text. Okay, so it is actually and or. But when it comes to the annotated bibliography, it carries now a different nature. So an annotation, just separately, the word annotation is simply a summary, okay? Or it can be an evaluation of any form of text, okay? And then I'd like also to define now what is a bibliography. A bibliography is a list of citations, sources, okay? And this can come from articles, from the books that you have read, from journals, from websites uploaded in the website, periodicals, or other documents which you can use for researching a certain topic. Now, sometimes the term bibliographies now carries a different terminology, and they're called references or works cited. So again, we will be coming out with a format for writing our thesis and dissertation. The research committee that is composed of the research director, Dr. Munalim, and then of course we have Dr. Dumlao, and then Dr. Braganza of the food science, and myself are now trying to fine-tune and standardize our formatting for the writing of our thesis and dissertation. So whether we keep the old terminology of bibliography or references, that will come out with our succeeding presentations to you. Okay, but generally there are some papers that use the word references instead of bibliographies. Okay, now what is really a bibliography? A bibliography usually includes bibliographic information, which means that you have the author, then of course the year, okay, and then the title, the publisher, and other relevant information. Okay, that's a simple bibliography. And the bibliography is always part of your thesis or dissertation or any research materials that you're working on, because you need to make citations. And the citations will have to show now where you got your source. And your citation or bibliography should be complete. Okay. Now, if I put together now the word annotation and bibliography, then we have what we call an annotated bibliography. Okay? So we're not saying annotated bibliographies. No, it is an annotated bibliography. So what is an annotated bibliography? It is now a list of citations. Okay, so in the masteral program, we have 45 citations that will be under your annotated bibliography, while in the doctoral program, we will be needing about 90 citations, okay, as part of your annotated bibliography. So every citation, okay, it's very simple. It is followed by a brief description. So the description is informative in essence, okay? And you have the second part, which is the evaluation, okay? So the citation, okay, is followed by a brief, descriptive, and evaluative paragraph, or what we call the citation. Now, the purpose of an annotated bibliography is to inform the readers on the following, and we will still discuss others, you know. First of all, the relevance. Number two, the accuracy. And number three, the quality. And usually, it is about 150 words. Okay, this one is in reference to our faculty members who serve as advisors and panelists. When we go into our citation, it doesn't mean that we have to be very strict on the recency of our citations. Because I noticed that in some defense, you know, the panelist strictly requires only 5 years recency. So that means that if we are in 2020, they do not allow the students to cite those that are below, let's say, 2014, which is false. Okay? As long as the citations are relevant and important to the study. When you speak about theories, for example, these were, you know, in the 1950s or in the 1920s. We cannot say that we will disregard those citations. Okay? So I'd like to remind our faculty members that to be conscious when they read chapter 2 on citations. Okay? Now, an annotated bibliography is usually about 150 words. Okay, so in other words, more or less, 150 words, that could be a one-pager. Okay, now, annotated bibliographies are not abstracts. So what are abstracts? Abstracts are purely descriptive summaries, usually written at the beginning of a scholarly journal article or periodical indexes. Okay, so they're not abstracts. On the other hand, annotated, you know, when you have annotated bibliographies, they're both descriptive and critical. Okay, you are not just giving the information, you are now having what we call, you know, critiquing of said article. They may describe the author's point of view, authority, clarity, or appropriateness of expression. So these are two different things. Abstracts, and also I noticed that when we present our dissertation, a number of our students write already the abstracts. That should not be included in your final defense paper because the abstracts will change depending on the revisions that are given by the panelists. So we should not require abstracts when we go into the final presentation or defense of our students. That is the last that is being written. Okay, again, our abstracts will be short. We will give a format on how to write abstracts. But please don't require our students to write abstracts while they are in the process of defending their paper. Okay, so I hope things are clarified. Okay, so what is the purpose of an annotation? Very simple. You look at it, you understand the text, you track changes or progression in the article that you're reading, and also you identify areas of interest or concern. Okay, so what do you do that? When you read an article, these are some tips that I'd like you to do. You can have your, you know, your paper, your PowerPoint, your annotated bibliography, your citation, and you can highlight it. You can highlight, you can encircle, you can underline, you can take down notes. And what are the things that you put on the side? If you have to take down notes, get the main ideas or the main points. Are there people that are important in that particular citation? Okay? So, and then of course, if you're making a progression, then you take note of the year. Okay? When it was cited. And then are there words that you don't understand? Then, you know, highlight it, and then if you have time, well, look into the dictionary and, you know, find the meaning of those words. They may be new to you, and so what you will do is, you know, I should learn this word because I need to understand the entire, you know, journal or, you know, entire citation. And then also, highlight also your important ideas and events. So sometimes when people make their researches, you will see that they digress from the usual. Exactly, when you are making a research, you are coming out with your own findings. And so there are some people, when they see their own findings, they will say, oh, I remember, you know, one time somebody was making a study that comparing housewives with working mothers. And all the time the researcher was saying, those who are housewives make good, you know, parents in rearing up their children. Okay. But then, so in fact, even his research, you know, his chapter 2 was more on praising housewives as compared to working mothers. But then when we made the statistics, it came out that there were no significant differences between somebody working, earning a living, and somebody staying at home and taking care of the family. So you can see that while you're reading your annotations, okay, you're reading at that, we cannot have our preconceived ideas. And so we take down notes. Are these notes that are, you know, transgressing, okay, from the normal way of thinking? Then these are very significant, okay, ideas that you can call from this particular annotation, okay? So these are simple tips. You can just, you know, write it down if you have the hard copy, or you can, you know, write notes, you know, on, you know, online, and your soft copies there, you can make your notes, or you can highlight, use your colors, and that, you know, gets your attention. Okay. Now, what are the steps in writing annotated and annotated bibliography? First one, you've got to search books and periodicals and documents related to what you want to research on. And these may contain useful information and ideas on your research topic. Now, once you have research, you know, take down, okay? When I say take down, you can always, you know, open a file and take down, you know, the titles of these. And then you can, you know, while you're doing that, you can group them already according to your areas of what you want to work on. So let's say I'm looking at HR and I'm looking at, let's say, compensation. Then when I see, you know, I'll work on compensation, employability, probably, and career growth. So then I start to write my files, and I look for files, and then I put them in one, you know, in one area, the titles, you know, the sources, the citation. And then when I do that, I'm able, let's say, to have like 15 or even more, because some, you know, citations may not be as interesting. And then after that, I can group them according to the commonality of the research topic, so that I don't get confused. If I'm looking now at employability of, you know, of people, then I can read all about, you know, employability. And then I can do some arrangement chronologically. What came before, and so on, and what will be the contemporary issues about employability. So that's how you do it. You've got to be smart in systematizing how you make your annotated bibliography, okay? And anyway, we are all now online. It's very easy to create soft, you know, our files, okay? Then you start now to review the information at hand, and then that is where now you choose only those that present a variety of perspectives on your related topics, because there is a danger that you might be only talking about one and the same thing, when in fact employability, for example, has different facets. And so, that will help you. And then, of course, don't forget to cite the book, periodical, and documentations, and using the format. Generally now, we are using the APA format. Okay? Unless there are some disciplines that may be using the MLA format. And then, well, of course, at the moment we're using APA format, but again, the research group will come out with something official. But before that, we will just maintain the status quo. Okay, so write the annotation, and what you do is you summarize the main thought of the topic. What are the main arguments? These are, certain things that can serve as guide questions for you. What are the main topic that is being driven by the book or the article or the journal? What topics are covered? And then, have you identified the hypothesis, the results and conclusions presented by the source? Usually, when you have a hypothesis, and I just want to correct this misinterpretation or misunderstanding, that you only have a hypothesis when researchers use samples. Okay, a hypothesis is only related to a sample. But I noticed in the defenses that I listen to, when the researcher, for example, okay, when our students consider the population, take note, the entirety of the sample of the units, which is the population, actually there's no hypothesis. And I have encountered that in a lot of defense. Because when I mentor my students, I tell my students, you don't have a hypothesis. But unfortunately, when they defend and the panelists don't know about it, they will give my student a failing grade for not having a hypothesis. But technically speaking, theoretically speaking, okay, you only have a statement of a problem. And so that's why the sampling technique is very critical when we look at our researches, when we do our annotation. Okay, that should be a correction. Now, if you use the hypothesis, there's nothing to infer. If you use the population, there's nothing to infer. So if there's nothing to infer, there is no reason for you to have a hypothesis. But I don't know, it's the practice in the Philippines that they want all papers to have a hypothesis. And so when I mentor, it's not for me to teach our faculty about it. But I just hope we do it correctly. Okay? So anyway, I just wanted to stress that the hypothesis is only related to a sample, and therefore the sample is only related to inferential statistics. But once you don't use inferential statistics, then you just have a statement of a problem. Although, of course, many of the studies now use sampling. Okay? So anyway, just for correction. Okay? So have you identified the hypothesis, the results, the conclusions presented by the source? Then, of course, when you summarize, you don't copy verbatim. What is verbatim? You don't copy word for word. That is already a possibility for plagiarism. Okay, so, well, plagiarism is a different topic altogether. It's a different discussion that we can have in our next General Assembly. But paraphrasing is very simple. Write the ideas of others using your own words. When you paraphrase, okay, you're allowed to do that. But even if you're paraphrasing, you've got to write your source. So when you have your annotated bibliography, your citations, when you make your description, and again your evaluation for whatever it is, you need to write it in your own words. Don't cut and paste. It's a no-no. Okay? Just write how you understand the article. That's what we call paraphrasing. Now, of course, somebody will ask me about copying it word for word and using quotation mark. Are we allowed to do that? Yes, but that will be another topic for plagiarism. Okay? Now, after summarizing, assess it. And that is where we go into what we call the evaluation part. So the annotation actually is first is informative. It's just a summary. And the second part now is what we call an assessment or an evaluation or a critiquing. Okay? So evaluate the authority or background of the author. These are guide questions. And then find out what is the goal of the source. Comment on to whom it was intended. Okay, the research was intended. And then compare, or you can contrast. Okay? You can negate, you can disagree, you can agree, whatever it is. Okay, this work with another article that you have cited before, because this is also part of your synthesis in chapter 2. And then, is the source bias? Is it objective? Is it useful? Are the information, is the information reliable? Okay, and lastly, explain how this work illuminates your bibliography topic. Okay, then of course, some more if you want, then you do and reflect. Once you've summarized and assessed, how does it fit? Now, if I'm writing now my thesis or dissertation, how this fit into my research? Was this source helpful to me? Did it shape my argument? Okay, how can this source, how can I use this source in my research or dissertation? And what is the applicability? So this one is 4.3 is very significant for your own self. But the annotation is really more of a summary and an assessment. But I mean, while you're doing that, hit 2 birds in 1 stone, and you can already do your reflection and then save it for your synthesis, okay, for chapter 2. Okay. Now, why should one write an annotated bibliography? Again, it is a preparation for writing a thesis, a dissertation, or any research paper. It forces you, or me too, to read each source more carefully and critically instead of just collecting information. It allows the student to see what has been done in the literature and then where it can fit one's research, and it makes one see what the issues are, what people are arguing about, and you'll then be able to develop your own perspective regarding your research. So actually, I'd like to say that this particular activity is going to help you in the writing of your dissertation. So while you're doing that, actually you are preparing. If you want to take advantage of doing it in advance, you have to make sure about what particular topic do you really want to write. Actually, that's one of the things that people doing their thesis and dissertation, they should already start thinking about the research that they will do. It's not like I finish all my academic courses and then I start to think of a topic. No, actually I am now monitoring, I am now encouraging our deans now to start mentoring, give already our students advisors who can really, whom they can throw away their ideas and say, because there are some research topics that are not achievable. You cannot finish it, no matter how highfalutin, okay, your research, research topics. I always go for research topics because the research title is the last one you write when you write a paper. it is actually the research title. Because again, that is again putting our students, putting them on one spot and saying, that is your research title. Why did you not follow your research title? But as you read, you will see that there are some research titles that are not achievable. Okay? So we just work on what we call our research topics. And when you do that, you start to read and it widens your horizon. It widens, the topic that you'd like to write about. And it makes, your taking your graduate degree easier for you. Okay, it's going to be more, convenient for you, more easy and faster for you. Because as our dean said, the lifespan for a masteral student is actually 5 years, and for a doctoral student, it's about 7 years. And we wouldn't want to take that long. Because if we take that long, then we will have to be required to enroll in what we call refresher courses, which is actually about 3 subjects, so an extension of another term. Okay, so I'd like you now, while I hope my discussion of an annotated bibliography is clear, I'd like you now to take advantage of knowing how to write an annotated bibliography, and from there, starting to do your own reading. Anyway, you are graduate students. Okay, what makes an undergrad student different from a graduate student? You know more. If you're a graduate student, you should know more about your expertise. You are not anymore an undergraduate student. And how do you develop your knowledge? Do a lot of reading. You've got to do a lot of reading. Even if your professors are not telling you, to read so and so, it has to come from you voluntarily. You are graduate students. You are not undergrad students. And therefore, the willingness to learn more, to develop yourself, to expand your horizon, okay, should be voluntarily from your end. Okay, so I think that will end my very short little lecture on how to write an annotated bibliography.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Young. Now we are well oriented on how to write the annotated bibliography. Now, for all these requirements that we need to satisfy, the guidelines and policies to keep in mind, surely there are a lot of questions, and I am seeing already the questions in the chat box. But for the interest of time, let me remind you that we may only be answering a few questions. Now, let me turn you over to our moderator, Dr. Menchita Dumlao, assisted by Sir Emmanuel, for the open forum. Dr. Dumlao.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So as of now, we have seen some questions in the YouTube live, and also there are also questions here, comments inside the Zoom. Okay, so maybe I'll just first read some of the Zoom comments. As you can see on our chat, so can we access the annotated bibliography submitted by other students or previous students enrolled in the same program? Or maybe Mr. Amador Martinez is asking if they can access the previously submitted annotated bibliography as reference. So I think the question is for Dr. Sornosa. Ma'am? Yeah, can you hear me now?
Annotated bibliography can be accessed in the school dean, right? It is not copied to me. So if they want to access, I think it should be available with the library or to your dean of school.
I think you can also give inquiry to your program chairs, because most of the annotated bibliographies were submitted either to the dean or to the respective program chairs. Okay, but are they allowed, ma'am, to be accessed by students, by other students?
I think so, because this is annotated bibliography. It can be readable to anyone.
Okay,
May
so
I answer that, Dr. Dumlao, also?
Okay, kasi si Sir Sherwin is also a program chair. Okay, sir, that's
As
good.
our
Thank you
students,
po.
when it comes to the annotated bibliography, first and foremost, I require the students to pass them to me for checking. So before I allow them to take the oral examination. It should be imperative that I check the annotated bibliography first for correctness. If I have approved the annotated bibliography, then I would tell the student then to proceed with the processing of the permits and to prepare for the oral examination. So I confirm whether the annotated bibliography is okay already or acceptable already. And if it would be acceptable to me, then I would require the student to have or to furnish me a printed copy of the annotated bibliography. And that student would already be listed as one of the students to take the comprehensive examination.
I can also add comment to that. I think in some of our courses in master's or in PhD program, there are also courses like research writing. So I think that's one of the things that your professors would always require you to submit. Okay, like for example, in our program MSIT, we always require our student to write annotated bibliography. So it means it is also a part of the lectures of the respective professors, most especially those who are handling research. Okay, and another question here from SFAD, but there's no name. So hello, does the thesis approval sheet have to be submitted as a document detached from the hardbound thesis, or should be on the it should be included in the hardbound thesis? Okay, maybe he is saying that the submission of approval sheet should it be separate or included in the hardbound thesis?
Can I answer that, Dr. Dumlao?
Yes.
I think the understanding is the whole hardbound should bear with the approval sheet, but this requirement of a separate file should be submitted through me, the approval sheet, because this will be used as a clearance for the completion of thesis writing to be submitted to the registrar. So this is part of the clearance, the separate file or separate document approval sheet only. But in the hardbound, it should be part of the whole manuscript, the approval page. Is that clear already?
Okay, so thank you very much, Dr. Sornosa. Okay, so there is another question from Ms. Denise. Can we send our pertinent files or documents in the registrar's office via courier? I think this is for our registrar. So yeah, she is asking if the documents may be some pertinent documents. Okay, can it be sent via courier or LBC? Can someone answer that? Okay, I will answer that na lang. Okay, so me as a program chair, I think all program chairs is going to do that. We in PWU, we are really forcefully connected. Okay, the emails, the chats. So students send inquiry from time to time to the registrar and to the chair. So if for example, the registrar is not yet answering, I think the program chairs and deans can allow the student to send original documents via LBC and course it through the registrar. So if you have those types of inquiry, you can first send email to your program chairs or deans, and please copy furnish our registrar. So you can find all the emails and contacts in PWU website. Okay, so okay, another question is, may we know more about the course syllabus requirements for doctoral program? So it's a question from Jeslia Kakatian. So can she access, or maybe she is doing some inquiry on syllabus for doctoral program. They are asking some maybe some information about each program. Miss Jessimia, ano po what particular program? Okay, so who can answer that? Dr. Sornosa, if this question from Jessimia Kakatian, where can she get some information regarding syllabus and doctoral program?
I think the dean and program chairs can be available to provide the syllabus for a particular program.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So you can, Miss Jessimia, you can also send email. Another question is, are we, this is from Raquel Pasqua, are we the one to choose our advisors? Is it possible that the university will assign specific mentor, advisor to a certain group of students?
The student can suggest whether the expertise of the advisor can be checked and approved by the deans or program chairs for the specific research or topic that the student will be undergoing. But if the dean did not agree and suggested a different person, we can the student cannot do anything, because it is the prerogative of our deans and program chairs approving the advisors of a particular research.
Okay, thank you po. Thank you, Dr. Sornosa. And then there is another question. Do we still have times, our Sir Sherwin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we still have time.
We can accommodate some more questions.
Okay, so thank you. So this is from Maria Sara G. De Los Santos. Can the following be included in the curriculum course rudiments of research or research writing, research annotated bibliography, and also research ethics be included in the curriculum? Maybe Miss Maria Sara de los Santos is making some suggestions or inquiry if the following courses can be included as a course itself, okay, as a part of course requirement. So, which is rudiments of research, research writing, writing annotated bibliography. Okay, who would like to answer that? Okay, I will try to answer that again. Okay, but I think some other deans who are joining here, maybe Dr. Manalim and Sir Sherwin and Dr. Sornosa may have also some answer, but I will just make my answer short. So just like, for example, rudiments of research, research writing, writing annotated bibliography, and ethics, as I've said earlier, we have a subject, all of the subjects in master's and PhD have research methods, okay? And all research methods have to discuss these types of topics, okay? So I've said that example in our MSIT, the professor who's handling research is including in his syllabus all the lectures on how to write research, how to write annotated bibliography, and ethics and research. Okay, so is there any more answer from our officials here, Dr. Sornosa or Dr. Munalim? Okay, so no more. So according to Sir Sherwin, we still have time. Okay, so from Jack Host, is it possible for panels to be present during concept proposal? Okay, so that's the title concept proposal, so that when the student is writing chapter 1 to 3, the student is guided already and not waste value time in writing. Okay, so Jack Host is requesting for the panel to be present during the conceptualization of proposal. Okay, so that's the question, Ma'am Emmy.
I don't think the panel is required to be present while creating a concept for a thesis proposal, because this is the duty of the advisor as well as the approval of the dean is required. Then the thesis depends. That's the time the panel should be present, because this is the time when the student has to shine and defend whatever the concept or proposal she or he wants to prove. So panel should be present only on the oral defense, not on the conceptualization of the topics or the research itself. Because if the panel will be there, what's the use of defending the thesis? Because the defense should happen after all the concept has been established by the researcher together with the advisor. Any comment from the other program chairs and deans?
Yes, ma'am. May I add to that?
Yes, please.
During the proposal, the concept is also being reshaped. So usually during the thesis proposal, when you are presenting to the thesis panel, to the panel members, there are changes with your thesis. So we are reshaping it. So if you already have your concept, then we talk with the panel may reshape it still, even though it has been approved by your advisor and amenable to both of you and your advisor. So the proposal on itself is the actual reshaping or looking at anew to your concept. What should you be preferring to, or what you should be the direction of your thesis? And it is only in the final thesis, in the final defense, that you would be defending through and through what has been conceptualized already or finished in the thesis proposal with the panel members.
Okay. So thank you very much.
Dr. Dunlao, if I may say something.
Okay, Dr. Munalim.
This is with regard to the annotated bibliography from the School of Arts and Sciences under Master of Arts, Master of Arts and Communication Arts. I'm actually building Arts and Communication Arts.
There's an echo. I think, Dr. Leo, are you using another device?
I'm using 2 devices.
Okay, you have to silent, to put silent the other one. Your backup one. Silent the other one. Silent the other one. Silent the other one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you can. I think it's no echo anymore. Okay. So while Dr. Leo is fixing his internet connection, okay, he will be coming back to answer that question later. Okay, so we have another question from Roxanne. Is it possible to have a face-to-face class once we are all vaccinated? So maybe Roxanne is asking what are the possibilities to have face-to-face class for graduate school?
May I answer that, Dr.
Okay,
Dumlao?
Sir Sherwin.
As of the moment, it would be the School of Medical Technology program and the nursing program that would be allowed to apply for the limited face-to-face classes for the Philippine Women's University. And I know that the other programs as well would follow after us. So as of today, it would only be the School of Medical Technology program and the School of Nursing program. So maybe early next year, once we have done successfully and safely the pilot for the allied health courses, then we may think to accommodate the other programs as well. So that would be under the directive of the management, Dr. Yang and Sir Marco.
Okay, thank you very much. So another question, this is from Ma'am Melissa Alcazaren. This is about thesis advisor requirement that one should have PhD. What if the thesis advisor has the expertise but is not a PhD holder? Okay, who can answer that? Ma'am Emmy, Dr. Sornosa?
Actually, it's a preference only to have a doctoral degree as an advisor. But if the expertise is there and the dean approve it, what is happening? I think it can be approved. I can concur.
Okay, another question.
Am I back?
Okay, yeah, you're here. Nice. Okay, Dr. Leah is here.
Okay, yeah, you're here. Nice. Okay, Dr. Leah pertains to the annotated bibliography from the School of Arts and Sciences, Master of Arts in Communication Arts. I'm actually building a corpus and an archive of all annotated bibliography for the past 3 years. Why? Because if the students have the copies of all the annotated bibliographies written by students before, perhaps that is their opportunity to just copy the annotated bibliography. I'm not saying that many will do, but there are possibilities for copying, actual copying of the annotated bibliography. So what I do in my school is that I check the submitted annotated bibliography in the current trimester against the archive. So that will help whether or not the students are really honest in terms of their readings. With regard to the question, if they can get the copies of the annotated bibliography, yes. But in my case, I check whether or not you just copy the actual annotated bibliography, because the checkers do not actually have access to the annotated bibliographies written before, right? So that's it. Thank you.
Very much, Dr. Leo. So far, there are no questions anymore, and most are thank you wishes and congratulatory wishes for this Graduate School General Assembly. So that's all for the open forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much for Dr. Dumlao. So I hope that all concerns have been clarified. If not all, if there would still be some questions that need to be answered, kindly refer them to your respective deans and program chairs, and surely they will be given proper responses. And to formally close this very enlightening General Assembly, may I call in the Dean of the School of Music, Dean Earl Clarence Jimenez.
First, let me thank you, students, for being in this graduate assembly today, organized by the Graduate Office headed by Dr. Emerita Zornosa and the Research and Development Office headed by Dr. Leo Munalim. In closing, let me reiterate the call for all graduate students to be active producers of knowledge by engaging in meaningful research that impacts society, particularly people's lives. In this age of misinformation, disinformation, and revisionism, our responsibility as sources of knowledge cannot be overly emphasized. May we all contribute to a better society, a better world, and a better tomorrow through the researches we conduct, the papers we write, and the public platforms we engage with. Welcome to the Philippine Women's University Graduate Programs.
Thank you very much, Dean Earl. So thank you so much for your kind attention, our guests and dear students. I hope that this virtual event will improve our students' compliance with the requirements and help them graduate. So until our next Graduate School General Assembly, this has been Professor Sherwin Toriano, Program Chair of the School of Medical Technology, wishing you all a blessed and Merry Christmas and a prosperous and safer New Year ahead.
a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
But we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.